Hey friendos, what is up? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Matt. And I know what you're thinking. Hey, 2 vids in 2 days? When did we get so unlucky? Well, don't worry about it. No, but seriously, I was sat here and I was looking at the my YouTube subscriptions. I've seen a couple of obviously the Marvel Future Fight official. Then I saw Beast Mode has got a live stream scheduled for this evening. Alex has obviously got one scheduled for this evening as well. Unfortunately for me here in the UK, by the time the live stream happens, it's a bit late to be doing like live reactions and stuff like that. Because it's like 1-2 o'clock in the morning. So I was like, do you know what? It could be fun to actually do something different instead. And as you can see, we've got all of our characters who are going to be involved in the update highlighted here. With the exception of Human Torch, that just a side tangent. I've just been working on his Odin's Blessings and trying to get them all either to engraved or super engraved or whatever it's called. I think we got one of them. Yeah, the Odin's Glory. Yeah, we just been working on him just because it's the Uru is on a discount at the moment, so we've been spending lots of our gold there. But what I thought would be fun to do is just actually to do some predictions. We obviously know excuse me. We know the characters that are coming in game. We've got Sentry is turning up with a new uniform. We've got uniforms for Winter Soldier, Taskmaster, Red Guardian, Yelena, Ghost, and we're getting a brand new character, US Agent. So I thought, why not just quickly run through the characters who are coming, and just before the actual live stream shows up, I just thought it'd be a bit of fun just to sort of give my predictions on what I think their uniforms are going to be and where they're going to fit in the meta. So, first of all, obviously, Sentry. Now, we know that with his current uniform, he is pretty much second in the meta for PvP. A lot of people say that Null is like way ahead. I don't think that's true. I would say it's not. If let's say there's 100 fights between Null and Sentry, I don't think it's going to be 100-0 for Null. I don't think it's 50-50 either. It's probably going to be like 60-40 in Null's favour. But don't forget that we have a team up collection for Null with the symbiotes. Okay, so he massively benefits from that, and on top of that he has a dedicated support in Agent Venom, so he obviously benefits from that as well. Now, before the Defenders team up collection arrived, I think quite a few other people were expecting the team up collections this year to be Thunderbolts to go along with the movie, Fantastic Four again to go along with the movie, and one other. So Defenders coming so soon and so close to the Thunderbolts update has kind of like spoiled that prediction, because I could have seen Sentry then obviously getting right back up in there. However, I'm still going down the Thanos route. I think that the new uniform for Sentry, obviously in looks wise, he's going to be closer to his original Golden Man. I think we're going to see a PvE Sentry with this new uniform. I think it will keep him as he is for PvP with his with his Rhea Ripley hair here going on. So I think he's going to be just as strong as this uniform for PvP, but I think his PvE performance is going to increase massively, and that's why they're going to try and like hook you in with the new uniform. So that's my betting for Sentry. So as you can see, it's going to be very similar to what we already have with Thanos and Farmer Thanos, or we already have with Logan and his X-Deaths, or Deadpool and Wolverine. Pretty much identical for PvP, but just a much more improved PvE performance. Bucky, it's hard to say with Bucky, because I'm gonna be honest, I've never really been a huge, great big fan of his uniforms. Infinity War was probably when he shone the brightest. I think he had a really good uniform then, and as we all know, Infinity War was so long ago. The uniforms were completely different. The whole game was completely different back then, and it has moved on massively. So even though I can see him, obviously we've already got his tier 4 with his combat villain uniform from well, essentially from Marvel Rivals without saying it's from Marvel Rivals. So I can see him going back to speed type, and he's going to be a pretty solid PvE character. He's not going to be top of the meta for any game mode at all. Hopefully he'll have a few more support buffs going in, so that he can actually do some like helpful work for other characters as well, putting him either with a Thunderbolts team or putting him with an Avengers team. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all we're going to see from him. A little bit more utility, but again, it's going to be another speed tier 4. Although he's already got his tier 4, but obviously going back to a speed type. And unless he has some crazy like leadership, which his leadership is, for the moment, it's one of the better ones, because for some reason speed types always get really shit at leaderships. So, you know, he could be a useful speed lead. Let's have a look here. Yeah, you see here, where is his leadership? La la la. No, that's just his change skill. Basic info. Okay. God damn it. Here we go. Okay, so there. Yeah, 30% increase of physical attack. If they put that up to like 40 or 45, that would be fantastic. Then we have Red Guardian. Now, as funny as David Harbour is in the role, I just don't see anything useful for Red Guardian. You can see I've not even got his previous one. He's going to be a hero again, even though he's originally a base kit as a villain. I just don't think I see much happening for either him or US Agent. I think US Agent is going to be very similar. The fact that US Agent uses guns, however, I think is going to bump up US Agent's. For some reason, I just see them being both quite similar, but US Agent having the edge. I think he's going to be like one of those characters, US Agent, if he's free, if he's not premium, I can see him being like Man-Thing with that. Or if you're new to the game, you're coming in and you want to build up a character who's going to be really strong and powerful and do like good work in Shadowland and World Boss Unlimited, not World Boss Legend, or World Boss Ultimate, whatever the other one is, you know, with the Black Order and blah blah blah. I can see US Agent being like the strongest new free-to-play character. Obviously, if he's premium, that's a different story. Red Guardian, I think, is going to be pretty much exactly the same as he is now, just with a fresh lick of paint. Now, Taskmaster. Taskmaster, honestly, is one that I hope doesn't change too much. As long as they keep them so that they're a huge like support character with all the buffs that they have, maybe just add a few incremental buffs of an extra 5% here or there. I actually wouldn't be mad at that. Normally we moan when they do that, or it's lazy, or they're not doing it. Keep that like it is, and then give them. I'm expecting Yelena's going to get the tier 4 right now, but if Taskmaster gets it, considering that Winter Soldier already has his, Sentry already has his, if they give it to Yelena and to Taskmaster, then all of a sudden we have got one of the best support characters in game suddenly available at tier 4 for all that end game content like World Boss Legend. That's pretty much all we need. Honestly, the amount of stages where I just think, if only I had another support. Because at the moment, all I've got is Mystique at tier 4. We're still waiting on the likes of Wave and White Fox. So if Taskmaster gets that, perfect. If they don't get it during the update, then hopefully mid-month they'll get it. So yeah, we're going to knock on wood that that's all that happens. Because that's all that needs to happen for Taskmaster. Then we'll go to Ghost. Now, Ghost, again, as you can see, is one of those characters I didn't get the uniform for, because I didn't get the character when it came out. By the time I got Ghost, it was 3 through the shifter bios in the Dimension mission. As you can see, we're on Agent Venom, but as you know, you can refresh these ones to get them technically for free, if we're not stuck on the orange screen of death forever. There we go. But yeah, you can see you can get Ghost there. Same with like Killmonger, Luna Snow, Crescent, etc. By the time I got Ghost, the film had long been dead and buried, and there was no point getting that uniform. So that's why we don't have it. However, there was some utility there. if we are going to get some kind of team up collection, I could see them being like a useful kind of like a buff heal character. That would be really cool, if to give them a kind of like Ancient One kind of vibe, to make them really useful for the team. So not competing directly with Taskmaster in that support category, but like a sort of a secondary support. That would be really nice to see, and to be able to like do some like damage with all of their different phasing abilities and skills in something like Otherworld Battle. So if we were to say that Taskmaster is your traditional insight support, then maybe Ghost could be the liberation type. That would be cool. Give them the magic treatment. Okay, make them very similar to magic. So even though they're not super strong for like timeline battle against the top of the meta, make them so that they're really useful for Otherworld battle. That would be really cool for Ghost. And finally, that brings us to Yelena. Again, Yelena is someone that I didn't get until, I think I only picked her up last year, when I was like, okay, the Thunderbolts movie's coming out, it's time to get her. And I believe I didn't get her from the Dimension mission. What I actually did was I picked her up from the Legendary Battle. If you go to the Black Widow Legendary Battle, you can actually pick her up. I believe similar with like Nick Fury in the Captain Marvel one. You can actually buy it. If you don't own her here, when you press start, you can see there's a chance to acquire the uniform. If you don't have her, you can acquire her for crystals there. So if you're thinking of getting her, that's obviously the place to go, rather than necessarily picking up the premium bio selector pack. But however you want to get her, it's up to you. Obviously we're getting up to big asterisk there, bigger than the Thunderbolts asterisk, up to 10,000 crystals. So it might not be the worst way to spend some of those crystals picking up Yelena here in the Legendary Battle. Now, again, because I didn't pick her up at the time, I can't remember exactly how good she was, but I distinctly remember everyone absolutely glazing her for PvP. And I really think that we could see a huge return to the meta for Yelena with this new uniform. I think she's obviously going to be, she's front and center of all the marketing, she's front and center of the film, she's like pretty much the star of the film. She's going to get the tier 4, so I'm expecting her to be like, not top tier, we're not going to be expecting her to be like Sentry level or Null level, but I think she's just going to sit underneath in that sort of like, if you go in like S, A, B, you know, tier listing, I think she's going to sit in that A tier. I think she's going to be just behind, similar to like Spidey, you know, one of those people who's going to be an absolutely amazing counter for certain characters, but she doesn't have that consistency against all types. So she's not going to be as strong as a Sentry, but she is going to be someone who, like, could say when certain characters are banned, you could put her in and she's going to do absolutely amazing. And that's it. Yeah, so I just thought, you know what, it's a bit of fun. We'll just see what happens when the live stream actually does happen tonight. I could be completely wrong on all of these. They might turn out to make like Yelena the strongest like PvE monster ever, absolutely decimating lunar snow. That could be the case. We don't know, but what we do know is obviously that we're getting the live stream this evening. That's not the one with the actual key art though, is it? Let's go to these posts here, and we have, is it in the sneak peek? Yes, the sneak peek here is a key art. So yeah, we know exactly who's coming, we know how they're all going to be in game looks wise, but I just thought it would be fun just to give you my predictions on what their uniforms are actually going to do for them. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Am I completely out of pocket with all of these predictions, or do you think it's pretty much spot on? And obviously we shall find out tonight. Until then, I shall catch you guys in the next one, but until then, take care. I'll catch you in the next time. Bye.
We await your return, warrior.